Hey, 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 how you doing today? Another beautiful day in Alberta.
In the shadow of the Rockies, where the wild winds blow, Albertans rise up, tired of the status quo.
That's right.
Oil sands pumping black gold, beef on the grill so
Stream Elements.
fine.
Tommy Temper Show is now live. Streaming talk shows and podcasts. Live latest news, events, fascist pancakes and chat.
Unfair equalization game, sending it east to Quebec while we shoulder the blame. No more pipelines blocked, no more carbon tax change. We're done with the feds.
Good to see you. Let me take these sunglasses off here. A little sunny day today. How you all doing today?
No more woke liberalism, stealing our way of life. Alberton stands
Real Red Mama. Good to see you.
from the strife. Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our
Happy Friday. Absolutely. Beautiful Friday. Loving it. Going to be a hot one up here in Alberta. Howard. Good to see you, Howard. We're playing our Alberta song today. Listen to the lyrics.
From the prairie
Meaningful.
to the peaks, where the eagles soar high. We're sick of the traitors calling us traitors. That's a lie.
That's right.
Equalization's a thief, stealing our hard-earned pay, while they push their agendas, turning night into day. Beef ranchers and farmers, grain silos stand proud.
Oh, yeah.
Oil rigs turning profits under Alberta's cloud. No more begging for ports, landlocked but strong we stand. We'll negotiate
That's right.
our future with the world in our hands.
Alberta freedom.
Ring it loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence.
Let me get a thumbnail in here.
No more woke liberalism, stealing our way of life. Alberton stand tall, cutting loose from the strife. Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families with a rifle in
I don't know if that's a good thumbnail, but we'll go with it.
Let the anthems roll, we're building our nation.
As everyone rolls in, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be in the world. We're coming to you live from our Sylvan Lake studios.
But self-determination's all right. Like Ukraine from the Soviet.
Right on, right on, Sylvan Lake studios.
No more sending our wealth.
Hey, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. But above all, give us a thumbs up if you can. Appreciate that. If you have any super mods in the chat there, turn on those switches. Give us a subs only to chat and a 5-minute delay, or sorry, 5-second delay. It's beautiful out here. Absolutely beautiful. I actually took a few photos of the lake there last night. Let me show you.
Canola fields yellow, beef herds grazing free, oil sands fueling futures as far as the eye can see. We're Albertans first, with hearts full of fire. Separation's the answer, lifting us higher. No more being the wallet for a broken confederation. Freedom's our birthright, our declaration. Alberta freedom, ring it loud and true.
Had some nice photos there yesterday. There's one of them right there. That's what the sunset was looking like last night. Had a few photos out there, but it was a beautiful night last night.
Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families with the rifle in hand.
Alberta freedom. Dashin Grandma. Hey, good to see you. Howard in there. Good to see you all. It's a Friday morning. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning here in Western Canada. Let me just tighten up this microphone here a little bit here so we can get in here a little bit and talk a little bit about what's happening here. Hey, old goat, how you doing? Well, you probably recognize the title of my show, Fascist Pancakes. Unbelievable. Fascist Pancakes is what we're going to be talking about first of all here today. And you probably, for those of you elsewhere other than in Alberta, you probably wonder what I'm talking about when I'm talking about fascist pancakes, but it's all the talk of the town here in Alberta. Oh my gosh. Oh, those lefties, those Antifa lefties, the Antifa type, shall I say, lefties, the liberal women that are like, you're a bunch of fascists, they first of all come out and start calling you names and stuff like that, It's just unfreaking believable. And the very latest is they're trying to call people fascist pancakes, This is getting to be totally ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe it. But we're going to be bringing up that whole thing. Thanks a lot, Howard. Yeah, beautiful song there. I wrote the words to that song, and then I used an AI program called Suno. I popped the words of the song into Suno and then asked it to compose a song with those words, and that's what it came up with. And that was kind of the first version of it. One of these days I'm going to find the software that actually, puts me and uses my voice to actually sing that song. And I'm not a very good singer at all. I'm like, can't get no satisfaction, and stuff like that. But, I can't really sing all that well. But, hey, fascist pancakes are on the topic of the day here today, and you probably wonder, what the hell are we talking about, fascist pancakes? But it's a thing that happened. Our premier of our province of Alberta was out doing a, how people are, where they do the pancake flips, especially politicians. Politicians like to get out there and, at least once a year, go to some rodeos or stampedes or fairs or stuff like that. And they, show their colors, fly their colors, and flip some pancakes and stuff like that to the public. Well, as it turns out, the premier of our province, Danielle Smith, here, I'll just show you here. She was out doing a little bit of pancake flipping, and this is her right here in this picture. Hey, typical politician, and you can see it's K-Days. It says K-Days on her thing there, and she's doing some pancake flips, which that's okay. Not a problem with the pancake flips there. It's something that politicians actually do. And, they get out there and, put on the apron and, it's like a political type of an event, that kind of thing. Well, and there's lots of children around there, kids. It's, child friendly. You get, people that are supporters of her get out there. I don't know if it was, in fact, I believe this was on the grounds of the Alberta legislative grounds, located in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, is where she was located. And, it was just a flip type thing where you could get out there and meet and greet kind of a thing. And she's flipping pancakes and serving them up for the people and having fun. Well, not to be outdone by the so-called leftists of this world. You know how that goes, where the lefties like to try and ruin it for the rest of the people. Thanks a lot, by the way, for the Let's see, what do we got there? Becoming a member of our super chat. Appreciate that. It's Michael Drader. Big ups to you. Thanks a lot for that super chat there, and or membership. Member of my Tommy Temper Tantrum crew out there. Looking good. You're first in for the pancake flip here for the Fascist Pancake Flip edition of the Tommy Temper Show. So we do appreciate that. Thanks a lot for becoming a member. You are a great one. Thumbs up, and thumbs up to everyone else that supports this stream, like Mama Red and lots of other people. Lots of people are members of my channel by memberships. They renew on a monthly basis. Sometimes they do renew, sometimes they don't renew, but whatever. Thanks a lot for supporting me. I appreciate that. We always apply money like that to good purposes, like helping out homeless people and buying things for my studio here. Different things. By the way, I don't really like these sunglasses. I don't know where these sunglasses came from, but these are just a kind of a narrow kind of a sunglass here, and I don't know. I just don't like the look of these sunglasses, but I started out my stream with these on here, but I'm going to take them off. But it's a sunny day. It's a sunny days at the beach there today. So I'm going to need sunglasses, but I won't be wearing those ones. I've got different ones. And we'll be driving our golf cart around Sylvan Lake here, visiting various stores and talking to different people out there. We've got our good friend Wade that is flying a bunch of flags outside of his house in Sylvan Lake, and once in a while we go over there and talk to him. It's amazing. As I drive my golf cart, and we've got a big flag on the back of my golf cart, a big Alberta flag flying back there, and people know exactly what that means. When you fly that Alberta flag, they give us a big thumbs up, or they yell at us, like, hey, good going, or hey, we're for Alberta independence or stuff like that. I'm hungry. Yeah, right, Michael. I'm hungry for those fascist pancakes. And let's get into this story here, the fascist pancake story. But anyways, Danielle Smith was out at the pancake flipping event at the legislative grounds in Edmonton, and you've got these liberal people that like to call everyone a fascist. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. They'll call you, let me think of the names here now. This is off of the top of my head. They'll call you a fascist. They'll call you a misogynist. They'll call you a xenophobe. They'll call you a racist. They'll call you, like every name under the sun. And, all of those things are beginning to become absolutely meaningless because they are using them in the wrong context. They don't even know what those terms mean, but they'll just dish them out just because they don't like you, and that's exactly what happened here to Danielle Smith. And, shame on the girl that actually did this. Now, who is this girl that did it, that actually tried to call out Danielle Smith? Here you can see her in the photo. I don't have her name right in front of me because it's kind of a convoluted name that she's got. But you can see her on the left side of the photo. She shows up at the pancake flipping event, and she ends up trying to disrupt the whole event. And there's children present. Children are watching what's going on. And she starts yelling and screaming like a crazy berserk woman that these liberal Antifa types are like. They're so deranged far left that it's unbelievable. And it's actually kind of hilarious. I have to chuckle at stuff like this when I see it. But she starts calling out Danielle Smith, and just listen to what she says here. And I'll play this a couple of times here so that you can hear what she's talking about. It's actually pretty funny. And she makes a fool, in my opinion, she makes a fool out of herself. And she actually goes down there to try and get some kind of a sound bite for the mainstream media, which in fact she does. She does, because it gets displayed all over social media, all over the media. And she actually makes her point, I guess, because I'm even talking about it and I'm showing you what's going on here. And yeah, it's kind of a little bit ridiculous as to what's going on. Thanks a lot, everyone that's watching on YouTube, the different platforms on YouTube that we're on. The main one is Tommy Temper Show, so come on over there. We're on Facebook, we're on Kick, we're on X, we're on Twitch, and soon to be on other platforms as well. I can actually stream with this software. I'm using EVMux software, and it allows me to stream on 9 different platforms at once. It allows me to bring people up onto the show here to talk a little bit about what's going on. And yeah, appreciate that. Again, thanks a lot for... oh, what happened there? How did that message get deleted by Dash and Grandma? I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. I don't know what happened there, Michael. But anyways, you can put your message in there again. But I see a message got deleted by Dash and Grandma. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyways, yeah, over to the story here. Let's show you exactly what actually happened with this whole thing. Hopefully we'll be able to see it here. And listen to the words. Listen to what's going on here. Danielle Smith, the premier of Alberta, is flipping pancakes. And then a deranged left-wing, extreme left-wing disruptor shows up and then starts yelling stuff. She's like, you're all for, feeding into the corporations and crap like that. It's craziness. Oh, accidentally deleted that on your phone. Yeah, okay, because there was nothing wrong with what Michael said there. In fact, all it said was just became a member, and it got deleted. But thanks a lot, Michael, for becoming a member and donating to the stream. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Here's the actual clip. We'll play it here now of what happened and why that my title of my stream is Pancake Fascist. Okay, here it is.
Do you like my shirt? Protect trans kids. So I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering about Alberta selling, you want to sell Alberta out to billionaires. Do you actually think the Epstein class is going to protect you when it all goes down? Wow.
Oh, you hear that? The Epstein class. She even brings up Epstein, which, Epstein isn't even Canadian. This is a Canadian pancakes flip, and she brings up Epstein in the whole thing and corporations in the whole thing. And, hey, let's face it, if it was for corporations, you wouldn't be wearing those nice clothes that you're wearing. You wouldn't have that iPhone that you've got. You wouldn't have nice things in this world. You'd be living in a frickin' cave, woman. What's the matter with you?
Do you like my shirt? Protect trans kids. So I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering about Alberta selling, you want to sell Alberta out to billionaires. Do you actually think the Epstein class is going to protect you when it all goes down? Wow, that's a lot of unconnected things together, and we are protecting. You are protecting the environment? So why are you putting through all these data centers without environmental?
Oh, yeah, she brings up data centers, which... Zuckerberg is going to be opening up a $1 billion data center just to the north of Edmonton, Alberta, where I live in Alberta. So that's where what she's talking about when she's saying data centers.
A lot of unconnected things there.
You're selling us out to AI data centers. You're selling us out to AI. You just went on a separatist podcast. Why are you platforming Berta Proud Dad? I don't care if I use Facebook. Yeah. You platform Berta Proud Dad, a separatist.
And he's talking about Berta Proud Dad. If you don't know who that is a pretty big YouTuber located in Alberta that is pro-Alberta independence, just like I am, right? And Danielle Smith ended up being, or was a guest on his podcast. So, she's kind of being called out for that, unfortunately, I will say. But, yeah. Let's go through the rest of it here and watch it as she gets called out by the left winger here.
Why are you platforming Berta Proud Dad? I don't care if I use Facebook. Yeah. You platform Berta Proud Dad, a separatist. You're a separatist. You're a fucking...
oops, I just flipped it off of there. Hang on, we'll get it better here. And this is the funny thing about this is that she talks about, and she says, you platformed Berta Proud Dad, because she was actually on Berta Proud Dad's podcast. Now, this is the way it works, is that when you're the YouTuber and you bring a guest onto your show, you're actually, platforming that particular person, So it's actually Berta Proud Dad that platformed Danielle Smith. That's the way it works. But she's so left that she doesn't understand a simple concept like that, But when it's all said and done, it really doesn't matter. She gets her say. It's like she turns it around the other way, like the premier is platforming the person whose show that she's on, which it doesn't work that way.
Like, do you actually think the Epstein class is going to protect you when it all goes down? Wow, that's a lot of unconnected things together, and we are protecting. You are protecting the environment? Sure. So why are you putting through all these data centers without environmental? A lot of unconnected things there.
You're selling us out to AI data centers. You're selling us out to AI. You just went on a separatist podcast. Why are you platforming Berta Proud Dad? I don't care if I use Facebook. Yeah. You platform Berta Proud Dad, a separatist. You're a separatist. You're a fucking separatist. You don't care about us. You only care about selling us out for money. Fuck your fascist pancakes.
Fuck your fascist pancakes. There's where the title of my stream comes in. There's where my title comes in.
Fuck your fascist pancakes. You're a fucking fascist. You don't give a shit about any of us. You sold us out to corporations.
And so what happens is the Secret Service, or whatever you want to call them, the people that are protecting the premier of our province, grab onto the left winger and are toting her out of the event at this point here, and she's shouting, "You're a fascist, fascist." Isn't that just like the far left people? They like to just call names. I'm sick and tired of their stupid little innuendos and name calling and shit like that. And they do the same thing to me. They're like always calling me some kind of names. They're in my chat trying to call me out, you're this or you're that. And, and then they run over to some other channel and they go, "Oh, Tommy Temper is a racist or a fascist or a, xenophobe or whatever, and it's just, it's stupid. It's like children in a playground, for God's sakes, like, come on.
Fuck your fascist pancakes! You're a fucking fascist! You don't give a shit about any of us! You sold us out to corporations!
This is the point. The point is that the premier of a province has to care about everybody. People on the right, people on the left, people in the center, and you can't please everyone. You want the province to excel, so you're bringing business into the province by allowing a data center to set up shop. You're wanting to maybe provide some jobs, have the economy booming. You want to, if we have oil in the ground, you may as well pump that oil out of the ground, and you may as well try and sell it to the world, because the world is crying for oil right now. We don't have pipelines to the coast. We have oil, but we can't get our oil to the world market at all, because the federal government is saying no. Cap the oil, keep it in the ground, no pipelines, no tankers, climate control, charge carbon taxes to everything that's going on, all of the big businesses and to the oil, even the oil that you buy or the gas that you buy in the pump. You've got federal taxes that are on there right across Canada. Doesn't matter where you are. You don't even have to be in Alberta. If you're buying gas at the pump, you're paying federal carbon tax for that. It's built into the price. It's added in there. The federal tax is in there. I don't care what they call it, green tax, carbon tax, federal tax. It's all a tax, right? it's all amounts to money out of your wallet, and it costs you money to be able to drive a vehicle. And really, for a country like Canada, where we have so many natural resources and so much, we're just such a rich country. Why do we have to be taxing the little guy? And when you do stuff like that, it ends up pushing up the cost of food that you buy at the store, because all of those trucks that buy or that bring the food to your store end up having to pay those big taxes. It's ridiculous. All I can say is this is one of the reasons that I'm not a politician, because of shit like this. Because when you're a politician, you have to put up with garbage like this, where people show up at a little pancake flipping event and start to call you, you're a fascist pancake flipper or whatever, Jeez, this is absolutely ridiculous.
You're a fucking separatist. You don't care about us. You only care about selling us out for money. Fuck your fascist pancakes. You're a fucking fascist. You don't give a shit about any of us. You sold us out to corporations. Don't fucking touch me. Let me fucking go. You fucking fascist.
And she gets escorted out of the grounds.
Fucking go.
And remember, this is provincial property that she's flipping the pancakes on. So she very well can be, trespassed off of the property. And you've got sheriffs and things like that that end up looking after the premier. And they're probably the ones that are escorting her off of the property. You can't make this up.
Oh. Time to go. Let me go.
Time to go.
Let me fucking go. Time to go. You want your fucking picture? Yeah, put the fucking music on. You guys work for a fucking fascist. Fucking, you want it? Fuck Danielle Smith. Fuck Danielle Smith.
This is her video too. Yeah. And it ends right there. Oh, it's so sad. So sad to be you, to see you getting booted off of the legislative grounds in Edmonton. Yeah, it's one of those things that actually just happens, When you do stupid things, there are consequences for the things that you do. So really, yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, TikTok says you're not Canadian, Tommy. You want to separate. And Salty USA already buys all the oil. Yeah, they buy a lot of oil. They buy about 2 million barrels a day, the Americans do, from Canada. I am Canadian. I actually am Canadian, TikTok. I live in Canada. I live in the country of Canada. I have a Canadian passport. In order to get a Canadian passport, you probably have to be Canadian, and the province of Alberta is located in the country of Canada. So at this moment in time, I am Canadian. There's no doubt about that. You can't make that up. You can't say, you're not Canadian. I am Canadian. I am a proponent of independence. There's no doubt about that. I would like to see, and I think that Alberta and people that live in Alberta would be better off outside of confederations for many, many reasons. Many reasons. I had a list of them here, and I had a whole page of reasons of why Alberta should become independent, and I went through that whole page, and I was on to my second page already. That's how many reasons. But what are the reasons for Alberta to stay in Canada? Give me one reason. Why should we actually stay in Canada? Nobody has come up with any good reason for why Alberta should stay in Canada. We're being abused. We're like in a relationship, a relationship where the guy slaps his wife around and goes, here, give me all your money. I'm going to the casino to blow all your money, and give me all your money, and slap you around a bit and make you stay at home and, hunker down and whatever, and go, I don't want to be with you. Yeah, that's the way we are in Alberta here. That's what's happening to people in Alberta, So, and you can't make this stuff up at all. This is just the way we're at here at this moment in time. And, it's unbelievable that it's happening, but it is true. It's absolutely true. We're not making any of this stuff up. And let's see. I did have a picture of the woman that was actually at this event. If I can find it here. I saved a whole bunch of stuff here. But we will see if we can actually find it. And if I actually saved it, I'll bring it up here and show you who she actually is. But anyways, she was on a YouTube channel, talking about how she's going to do stuff and that how she's going to, make it onto the mainstream media and stuff like that, So she's, basically the kind of a person that really, it's pretty shameful, the kind of stuff that she does. And, here it is right here. This is who she is, just to bring this shot up here and show you the actual picture of her. She's actually quite a nice looking woman, really. Well, but she has that devious look. She's the liberal. There's the face of the liberal woman, the Antifa wannabe, that's going to show up and go, you fascist, you pancake fascist. You're nothing more than a pancake fascist. You're a part of the, cowering down to the Epsteins of the world and making corporations rich and whatever. Hey, looks like she's not living in a tent. Looks like she lives in a pretty nice place there. She's got nice clothes, and she probably has a nice cell phone as well. She has some things that are made by corporations, I would think. And it's unbelievable what is happening there. Her name is Makayla. Oh, Makayla. And she resists and her own clown friend making headlines for calling the premier F you fascist pancakes. She's basically the clown and the loser, allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble for calling her names. I don't like to. This is coming off of the feed. I'm not the one actually calling her that, but somebody on Facebook here, or not Facebook, but X, by the name of Donald Nincium is actually calling her things like that. But I think that she is definitely the loser on the whole thing, because she is the one that now has made the headlines. Her face is all over the place, and she's becoming famous because she's calling our premier the pancake, the fascist pancake. And at the end of the day, it's basically she made history. So that's why we're talking about her today. So the pancakes are definitely big on the podcast here today. We're giving it the title of our podcast, and fascist pancakes. Oh, I don't know why they use Kirkland for signature. That's Costco there. Discipline in every fluffy stack. Strength through pancakes. Order now or face the consequences. Yeah. Isn't that the American Eagle on there? How did the American Eagle get on that one there? I don't know, but for some reason it got on there. But anyways, she's the fascist pancake queen of the day. So there you go. Can't make that crap up. Oh, yeah. And you've got this dude here, Jeremy Farkas, who's the mayor of Calgary, and he's into this thing where he's trying to come across like Alberta is going to lose business because we're basically supporting independence. And he compares it to Quebec, where Quebec, the big reason that businesses left Quebec is because they turfed out English as the language and said, no, you will only put French names on your businesses, and we only want you to speak French in Quebec. And the big businesses with head offices in Quebec go, oh, well, if that's the case, we're moving out of Montreal and we're moving to Toronto or places where English is the first language, because guess what? Most of the people that work for us are English speaking. And he seems to think that because those businesses left Quebec, that a bunch of businesses are going to leave Alberta because of us calling or talking about independence or potentially becoming independent. You know, just think about it. If you are running a business and you are having to pay federal tax in the province of Alberta, once Alberta becomes independent, you will not have to pay those federal taxes. The money that you're saving on federal taxes will go into your bank account. You will actually be probably lower taxed in the country of Alberta than anywhere on the North American continent. Therefore, businesses will be flocking to Alberta, and they will want to be setting up shop in Alberta purely because they know that they will be paying lower taxes. Why would any business want to leave Alberta? Why would any business want to leave Alberta because of the talk of independence? It doesn't make any sense. And politicians like this guy, Jeremy Farkas, don't get it. Like, what the hell's the matter with people? Like, unbelievable.
Hey, Calgary, it's Mayor Jeremy. This morning, I want to chat with you about why I've been speaking out about Alberta separation. There's a reason the Bank of Montreal is no longer headquartered in the city of Montreal.
Because they said no more English, not because of the threatened separation. Duh.
Because years of political uncertainty convinced businesses to invest somewhere else. And a new report from the Calgary Chamber of Commerce, our city's top business leaders, suggests that the same...
Where they have this group of people that he's talking about here that's only like a couple of hundred businesses. Like, come on, like a very small number of businesses. And they go, oh, well, we think that businesses are going to leave because of independence. So like, it's just a really, really small cross-section of businesses that came up with this report. It's, you know, like I looked at it and I go, oh, man, they're going to try and use that as fodder? No, I don't think so.
Same thing could happen to us too. The Chamber estimates Alberta separation could cost our economy up to $62 billion every year. That's more than what we spend every single year on education and healthcare in this province combined.
Jeremy, do you know how many billions of dollars have been not spent in Alberta because of the federal government and their climate change policies, their net zero, all of the rest of their crap? There's literally billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that have not been invested, not been turned on, not happening in the province because of the federal government. Like, that definitely offsets what you're talking about.
That's about $3,000 per Albertan every single year. They also estimate that up to 175,000 jobs could be at risk. And we're already seeing...
Jobs are already leaving Alberta because of the net zero crap that the federal government is bringing on us. We're being harmed far more by Mark Carney and the Liberals and all the rest of their crap than you will ever see with Alberta independence. I'll bet on that right now.
Those warning signs. As someone who works every day to sell people on investing in our city, I'm already seeing businesses hesitate, companies delay hiring, and employers looking elsewhere to grow. And more than half of...
Hang on. But why? You know what? He's not saying why employers would be looking elsewhere to grow. Like, wouldn't it be like suicide to be, not suicide, but bad or poor business practice to want to move your business out of a low-taxed country into a higher tax country? Who does that? What business does that? I can see businesses moving from Canada into the U.S. because Donald Trump says we're going to tariff the products that you produce. I can see that makes sense. But why would any business move out of Alberta, a low taxed Alberta, country of Alberta, into a high tax country like Canada? Like, it makes no economic sense whatsoever. Any businesses operate on making money, making income, right? And those businesses that are within Alberta are not going to be leaving Alberta because we become independent. Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. It doesn't make sense.
Calgary businesses say the separation debate is already hurting Alberta's economy. Nearly all of them say the impact is negative. And Calgary has worked so hard to build momentum. We're about to welcome our 2 millionth neighbor.
Yeah, well, you've already got Imperial Oil that is moving its head office from Calgary back down to Texas. Okay, did you hear about that, Jeremy? And you're going to have an empty office building in Calgary because of what the federal government is doing. Okay, it's not because of Alberta independence. You know, the fact that businesses are leaving is because of the federal government, not independence. Holy jeez. He's the mayor of Calgary. He doesn't get it. You know, these people that are like, oh, forever Canada, you know, you stay in Canada. They have no balls whatsoever. They have no gumption. It makes no sense. What they're talking about, it makes no sense whatsoever. Where's the common sense in this world? Well, I guess it's not all that common after all.
We're building infrastructure and housing at a rate that would make other cities envious. And we are benefiting from talent and investment by being a welcoming and truly global Canadian city.
It's because there's jobs here. There are jobs here. The oil industry booms if you want to make it boom, but when it's stifled by the federal government, it doesn't boom. You know, it's a ebb and flow type of a thing. And right now, our whole oil industry is kind of just sitting idling. We're idling right now. We're not expanding. The business is not expanding. We're sitting on 200 years of oil that, you know, hey, could be used by us, could be used by the rest of the world, natural gas, and lots of other minerals in the province here. You know, wood, trees, forests. We've got wheat. We've got lots of things here in Alberta. We are a booming entity, and there's no reason why we can't make it on our own, Jeremy. Come on.
City. But all of that is at risk. The world is watching us right now, and every decision we make sends a message. So rather than repeat what happened in Montreal, Calgary needs to say that we're confident, that we're growing.
We're not kicking out English-speaking people in Alberta like they did in Montreal. Why don't you guys get it? They just keep repeating the same mantra. And, you know, like English-speaking, kicking out English people in Quebec is the reason that the businesses left. They didn't leave because Quebec threatened independence. Like, come on. Or get off the pot.
Growing, that we're open for business. Thanks for listening, and I'll keep fighting for Calgary's economy and for everyone who calls this great Canadian city home.
Yeah. No, Canada will not let Alberta become independent without a fight. Absolutely not. The fight is on. This is where the fight is right now. You've got the mayor of Calgary fighting to keep Alberta in Canada. You know, and remember, these are people. You know, basically, this is the way it goes. The right-wing people in Alberta want independence. The left-wing people in Alberta want Alberta to stay in Canada. You know, this is what I see. I'm seeing it because we have the mayor of Edmonton, who's a left-wing mayor, has gotten together with Farkas in Calgary, and they're going, no, we have to stay in Canada. So it's like, and also, you know, I don't know, for whatever, and I don't know what the reasoning is of them, because he's not really coming up with a good reason, other than he's saying that businesses are going to leave if Alberta becomes independent. I don't believe that for an instant. Not for an instant. You know, why would, and also people, the people that are for Alberta staying in Canada are basically, you know, your elbows up crowd, your liberals, people that would vote liberal or vote NDP. And, you know, Nenshi, NDP, he's like staunch, you know, stay in Canada type person. So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, they're using us Albertans for the money that we have here instead of letting that money stay in Alberta. And you know what? The federal government is sending so much mass immigration, and so many people coming into Alberta here that they are overloading. Okay, this is what they're overloading: our healthcare system, go anywhere in Alberta, into major cities, especially like the hospital in Edmonton, the University Hospital. If you go in there and you want any kind of service, let's say that you got a broken leg or something like that, you are going to sit in that waiting room for 8 to 12 hours, okay? Because you have so much mass immigration, and as soon as anybody comes into Canada, it's like, oh yeah, you get free healthcare. So you've got all of these people that are overloading the hospitals in Calgary and Edmonton and Red Deer, all over the place, and people are screaming, well, the province should do something about the lack of healthcare. And they go, well, it's the province's fault. It's their fault that there's not enough healthcare. And all the Liberals, they blame the province because guess what? The leader of our province and the province here is conservative, so they love to point the finger at the conservative government and say, it's your fault that you're not spending enough money on healthcare. Well, guess what happens? This is how healthcare works in Canada. You tax the people, you tax the province. That money goes to the federal government, okay? The federal government says, you guys administer your own health care in your own province, but we'll give you the money for the health care, okay? So the money flows to Ottawa first. They take their share of it, and then they send a little bit of money back to the province for health care. Not enough. They pepper the province with just, millions of people, and they don't have enough health care for the people. There's not enough money to build hospitals, right? That healthcare money is to build hospitals, to hire doctors, to hire nurses, and to staff all of those facilities. And if you don't have enough facilities, and you don't have enough doctors, and you don't have enough nurses, guess what? You're going to have 12-hour lineups in the hospitals, okay? So, it's simple. If you ever went to university and you took a course called Economics 101, the starter, that's your first year in university, Economics 101 teaches you that there is such a thing as the law of supply and demand, okay? Supply would be on the side of people coming in not people coming in, but the supply would be the services that you have, okay? The healthcare services that you have would be the supply, and the demand would be the people that are coming in and using those services. It goes for food at your store as well. You have a certain amount of things on your shelf at your store, and you have a certain amount of demand for those products. Same thing. I can look at the housing as well in Canada, because we don't have enough housing in Canada, and of what housing that is being built, it is $1 million properties. You look at $1 million little boxes in high-rise buildings in Toronto and Vancouver. These things are not the kind of things where immigrants are moving into. They need low-cost housing on the low end, low-rise housing, small boxes and stuff like that. There's not enough of that kind of stuff around. There's an oversupply of high-end product that are, you have to be pretty much a millionaire to buy the big boxes in the high-rise buildings. And you bring in so many immigrants in the country, and there's not enough housing. There's not enough supply for the demand of housing in Canada. So it's like and also there's not enough jobs for all of these people that you're bringing in. And people say, well, why are you bringing all these immigrants in? It's because the government, number one, I believe that the number one reason that there is such a large increase in the number of immigrants coming into Canada, the so-called mass immigration, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against immigration. So those of you out there that are going to try and call me a racist for talking about immigration, and really, it was Justin Trudeau that taught you to call people racists if you talk about immigration. Because when he was in power, bringing in millions of people, and anybody stood up and said anything about immigration, you're immediately labeled a racist. Immediately. And you know what? When Trudeau was in power, I didn't talk about immigration. I was like, I don't want people to call me a racist, so I'm not going to talk about immigration. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it does. It's like Canada is such a country here where you don't even talk about stuff because the lefties are going to start throwing, shit at you. You're racist, and, you're fascist, you're a pancake fascist, shit like that. And we're sick and tired of these lefties here and the name calling that they do out there. They're all a bunch of hypocrites. They should actually look at themselves and you know what? If you're a lefty out there listening to me talk, what kind of a world do you want to live in? Like, is this really the kind of world that you want? Do you want this? Do you want this to become a third world country? You know what? I bet that you haven't even set foot outside of Canada or outside of North America. I bet that you haven't even had a chance to go out and see what it's like to live in a third world country. You haven't. You absolutely haven't. I can almost 100% say that, okay? Now, I've had a chance to travel to a lot of places in the world. I've been to many third world countries. I've been to communist countries. I know what communism does to a country. I've been in communist countries. I've seen what life is like in a communist country. I've been in third world countries where people are begging out on the streets, where they're living in mud shacks, and it's just it's not the kind of a lifestyle that you would want. But you know what? When you bring in so much mass immigration, you're bringing all of those problems that come and exist in those third world countries. Why do you think there's terrorists in Canada now? Why do you think that there are people with guns shooting up people and fighting in our country, in our cities? Look in Toronto, there was just a gunfight right at a festival. And it happens on a daily basis where you have major immigration in the large cities like in Vancouver and Toronto. There's gunfights and stuff like that going on all the time. There's robberies, there's house invasions, there's car thefts, there's people that are, going up to businesses and with guns and putting a gun in the business owner's face and say, "Give me some of your money, or else we're going to do you in." Stuff like that going on. Like, really, that's the kind of stuff that you're bringing into this country. You're not when you're bringing in millions and millions of people, you're not vetting, and the cats of the world are going to be over in their channel going, "Oh, Tommy's being racist again," like, hey, call me what you want, but I'm just calling out the way the world is here. I'm calling out things the way I see it, and I don't like what I see. I don't like the changes that are happening in our country, and it's because of the federal government. I don't like it.
Fuck all the fucking way off.
I know. I agree with you 100%.
That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, this is a real crazy world that we live in here.
Helicopter.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even gotten into what Trump is up to there in Iran. Yeah, that's going to be the next one here. Yeah, there you go. Thrashing one particular group. Yeah, the left. Yeah, exactly. I'm a right-winger. Deb, I'm a right-winger. I am a right-winger. I'm a right-wing person. I'm not a left-winger. And I'm calling out the left-wingers because that's what the federal government is. It's left-wing. It's not right-wing. It's left-wing. They're bringing the problems into our country here. The left-wingers, okay? For lack of better terminology, are the right-wingers causing this problem here at the moment? Maybe they were in the past. I would call them out too if they were. But at the present time here right now, what I see big change that's happening in our country here. Do you want to get robbed? Do you want a house invasion at your house? I don't think that you do. Really, I wouldn't. I don't want a house invasion here. But you know what? We're moving closer and closer and closer to that happening. To there being civil unrest and all kind of stuff happening here. It's pretty ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous what's going on here. It's nice behind me here. The lake is nice. I love it when I go out and hang out at the lake, and I don't have to think about stuff like this. I can let my mind rest a little bit, and just and that's the reason that I'm here, is that I've moved to a spot where it's like a little bit of paradise in Canada here, and within the province of Alberta. You know what? I had ambitions of moving to British Columbia. I absolutely did. In fact, probably about 20 years ago, it was like this far from moving to British Columbia. But at this moment in time, I am 100% glad that I did not move to British Columbia. They probably have a little bit nicer weather than we do here for more of the year, because it is winter here in the wintertime. This lake is frozen over, but we also have fun in the wintertime here with I will have the ability to go out ice fishing and stuff like that. I have a little quad that we can ride around, and I have ridden around on the lake here in the wintertime. So yeah, stuff like that happens. Let's move on to our next thing here. And Deb, I'm just talking about life the way it is in my eyes, okay? The way I see it. And you don't have to agree with me, and you might not agree with me. In fact, a lot of people might not agree with me, but there are people that do agree with me. If you agree with me, thumbs up to you. You're on my side of the picture. If you don't agree with me, well, welcome to the channel. I'm glad that you are over here watching what's going on, and that you're listening to me, and that I allow you to say what you want in my chat. Like Big D. Big D doesn't agree to everything that I say either. But I don't ban him. I don't really ban a lot of people. The only people that are banned in my chat are people that dox me. If you want to dox me, either in my channel or in other channels, then you might be probably banned in my channel. Okay, so there you go. Deb says, yeah, let me just see what your last comment is here, Deb, and I'll actually put it up here and address your comment, because we've been friends for a long time. And I know I heard you say the other day that you're Russian, Roman, and Italian. So, I know that sometimes I don't like what Putin is doing to the Ukraine, so we're probably not going to agree on that. But, yeah, it's not just the right or the left. There's people on both sides that don't agree with the government. Yeah. Oh, hey, right now, there are lots of people that don't like AI in Alberta, for example. So they don't agree with Danielle Smith and her proponent of bringing in AI companies into Alberta. People that I know don't like AI, and they go, hey, that's the globalists that are trying to, gather information on you, and, it's going to eventually end up to be a bad thing where that information is going to be used against you, and you won't be able to get on an LRT or a bus or something like that, because your swipe card won't work because they have AI on you that knows that you did something wrong in your past or whatever. There's all kind of stuff like that that goes on, and that people are actually worried about. But let's face it, they're doing that already. If you're on Facebook, they track what you're doing, and you see the Facebook ad. You can say, well, I'm thinking about buying a washing machine. What do you see? The next thing that pops up on Facebook is, an ad for a washing machine. They're already watching what you're doing. They're already gathering information on you. When you use your card, your special card that saves you money at your local supermarket, the reason they're doing that is because they're tracking the products that you're buying, and they're serving you up ads and stuff like that all over the place that you don't even know about, based on the products that you're buying and stuff like that. You've got the stores that have these little display prices, the little prices when you walk into the Canadian Tire store, or even I think probably Walmart is using those little electronic tags there now that serve up the prices. What, you don't think that they have the ability to track when you walk into the store with your cell phone? They track where you are, who you are, who's walking into the store, where you are in the store, and you don't think that they have the ability to decide whether or not you are a person that has lots of money only a little bit of money or medium amount of money, and that they can serve up prices on those items based on who you are and how wealthy you are. You don't think that they are doing that? You don't think that they have the ability to do that? Of course they are. Of course they're doing that. You know, it's basic human nature that businesses are going to do whatever they can to garner the max that they can out of the shoppers, out of the people that are buying the products. You know, if they can do it and there's no law against it, well, then they're going to do it until, you know, the people rebel and go, hey, government, we don't like what these businesses are doing. We don't like the fact that they're doing that, and we want to put a stop to it. And then you might have somebody that brings out a bill saying, hey, you guys, you businesses, stop doing that. We want you to sell your stuff at whatever the price is, and don't be trying to sell stuff based on who that person is. But we live in a capitalist society. And the capitalist society works on the basis of supply and demand. Supply and demand. Everything is supply and demand. Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. You could walk into somebody's garage sale and, you know, they're going to look you over and go, you know, they don't have their price marked on the item, and you go, how much you want for this thing? And depending on what kind of a car you pulled up in, if you pulled up in a Mercedes, they may go, well, I want $100 for that item. Or if you pull up in a Volkswagen, they see that you don't have as much money, and they go, well, $50 for that item. You know, like that's the way the world works. And like it or not, that's what we're faced with here. That's capitalism. This is a capitalist society. And, you know, hey, so far it's worked up until this moment in time. But you have these kids that are being educated in the universities these days that they seem to, the professors seem to be pushing the communist agenda, on the kids. And now you're seeing kids out there on the streets, like on White Avenue in Edmonton, with tables, a table load of communist propaganda, and standing there with a communist magazine and pushing the communist agenda and going, well, this is better for us. Well, you go, well, what about all those people that died under communism in days gone by? And the kids go, well, yeah, but this is a different kind of communism, you know? Yeah, right. It's not a different kind of communism. If you're wanting to get rid of capitalism and you want to have it live in a communist country or communist society and be working for the government, that's who you're going to work for. And you know what? You lose the ambition. There's no ambition whatsoever to work in a communist country. You're just a worker, just like the next guy. Your productivity is just about zero. You show up to work just because you have to. You barely put anything into it, and you really don't care. You don't care about anything. The government provides you a place to live, and it's pretty much a shithole with 10 people living in it. You have a crappy job. You drive a crappy car. You can barely afford anything. There's no ambition for you to become an entrepreneur in a communist country whatsoever, because there is no such thing. Okay, you can't, develop a widget or something, or invent something and then, bring it to market. That's not how a communist country works. The way it works is that you work for the government, and the government produces everything. Is that what you want? What kind of a world is that? If you ever went to a communist country, you saw what it was like. In the capitalist country, they're driving Mercedes. In the communist country, they have a horse and wagon out in the field somewhere trying to produce something in a field with a horse and a plow and some crap like that. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw that the communist country was like living in 1930. And meanwhile, the East or the Western countries were like, hey, we're driving Mercedes and Teslas and all kind of nice stuff like that. That's the difference between the different ways of life. You don't want communism, and shame on you for teaching the children of this world that communism is the way of the future and that you should be going for communism. And you know what? That's what Antifa is all about. If you don't know anything about Antifa, the whole far left wing, in which Antifa should be banned in Canada to the same degree that Trump banned Antifa in the United States. Antifa needs to be banned in Canada. But why doesn't the federal government want to ban Antifa in Canada? Because the Liberal government is on the same side of the fence as Antifa. The Antifa people are the people that are out there pestering and calling people like Danielle Smith, the fascist pancakes. The lefties love that, because the people that are calling the right wingers fascist pancakes and fascist and all the rest of the names, the left wingers love that, because they're all on the same side. If you go out to a rally, okay, and you're the right winger at the right wing, and you've got the police blockade in between you, who do you see on the other side of the fence? I'll tell you who you see. You see the Liberals, you see the NDP, you see the LGBT contingent, you see the Antifa, you see the unions, you see the communists, you see the Marxists. That's who's all on that left side of the fence. Okay, and that's, hey, it's pretty much common sense. Pick your side. Which side are you on? Are you on the side of the communists, of the fascists, of the Antifa, of the unions, of the NDPers, and the Liberals? They're all in it together on that side, to varying degrees. But I'm telling you, I see the flags. I see the Antifa flag flying alongside of the NDP flag, and aside of the unionist flag, and the LGBTQ community is in there, on that whole side of the thing. There's Nenshi in there. There's all of the rest of them over there. And you know what? You know that because if you heard Avi, the leader of the NDP party, he's already come out and said that he wants the government to open up food stores. That's communism. He wants the government to take over the internet. That's communism. He wants the government to take over your cell phone. That's Marxism. That's communism. He wants the government to provide housing. Oh my God! Like ding 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 ding. Communism. Come on, you guys. Don't you see what's going on here? Why is it that I'm connecting all the dots? I'm connecting all the dots here for you. And if you don't believe me and you don't like it, that's just the way it is. And, the same thing in the States. Who do you think is supporting the Antifa crowd out there and making sure that there's funding for them when they get in trouble, that you can provide GoFundMes and stuff like that? And who is it that's doing the stuff with the justice system, the lawyers, and providing money for lawyers and stuff like that? It's the people on the Democrat side of the fence. They're, it's like the same thing in the States. You've got the lefties in the States are the Democrats, or the Antifa and the communists, and they want to get rid of businesses. They want to get rid of corporations. They just want the government to run everything. In fact, Antifa is even worse than that. They just want anarchy. They don't like. In fact, they don't really like the Democrats, and they don't like the Republicans. They just want to get rid of all business altogether and just have anarchy. Maybe are we better off living in a country where there's just anarchy, where everything is running amok and you don't have police, and because they hate the police, they don't want the police. It's like defund the police. You hear that term all the time. That's definitely not the right wingers. And some people, they go, well, hey, the right wingers are on that side too. No, I'm a right winger. I know what I want. I want a good life. And you know what? We've actually built North America into being a bastion of people that have a good life. But who's ruining it? Who's responsible for the fentanyl addicts out there in the street? Okay. Who's trying to get rid of that problem? Okay. And the way I see it is the people on the right side of the fence don't like the fentanyl. They don't like the drugs. They don't like the homelessness. They don't like the homeless encampments. But the people on the left side of the fence are going, well, I think we should have open drug use. We should have no arresting people for any kind of drug. It doesn't matter what kind of a drug it is. You can have small quantities, let's say 2 grams or something on your possession. It doesn't matter whether it's fentanyl or cocaine or methamphetamine or anything. We're going to tell the police not to arrest you. Don't arrest you because, yeah, you can do that stuff, you know. Why do you think the people are out there strung out on the streets? Why do you think the homeless encampments are out there? It's because of the mass immigration. With mass immigration all over the place, you end up with there not being enough housing for people that really need housing, right? That's why you've got people living out there in the streets. It's not because of people like me that want law and order and want the police to be able to arrest and throw in jail people that are selling drugs, people that are using drugs, people that are openly destroying the way our life is here in this Western world. And who do you think is supplying those drugs? The communists, China. The communists are supplying the drugs into North America. Who do you think is supplying the fentanyl, the precursors of being able to produce fentanyl? It's coming from China, from the communists. The communists want the disruption. They want the supply of drugs in here. They want everyone to be drugged up over here so that you guys don't even know what the hell is going on. And then they can just go in and buy all of those minerals and stuff like that. They need oil sands and stuff like that. China needs more oil. China has actually bought into an oil sands company up in Fort McMurray there, right? They've done that. They've supposedly opened up police stations across Canada. You know, you guys have heard that story. You've got lots of people that are Chinese operatives that are in Canadian government. We've already heard that. And then you've got Mark Carney running over to China and, you know, where there was 100% tariff on Chinese exploding spy cars, electric spy cars. He said, well, instead of 100% tariff, we're going to drop that down to 6% or something like that and allow 40,000 electric exploding Chinese spy cars into Canada. You know, like this is a good thing. And watch, you'll see those spy cars running around on Canadian military bases right away, gathering information from what's going on in Canada. Like, am I making this stuff up? Am I, and then people go, oh, well, you know what? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't, like in my mind, I try not to, I don't believe that the earth is flat. I don't believe that Israel was behind 9/11. I don't believe, I believe that man landed on the moon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe in these far out from far place conspiracy theories that, people come up with and people repeat whatever and try and perpetuate. Do I believe that the government is, on purpose trying to, kill us with contrails in the sky? No, I don't believe that at all. Do I believe that governments of the world, in fact, use airplanes up in the sky to seed clouds in order to produce rain? Yes, they do stuff like that. But is every plane that's up in the sky and every contrail that you see in the sky some kind of seeding the atmosphere with something that's going to kill us? No, absolutely not. It's just a jet flying from your airport to somewhere else. And the more jets that there are up there, well, there's going to be the more contrails. And depending on what height that the jet is flying at, you're either going to see a contrail or not see a contrail. And it's going to last up in the sky, depending on how high it is, at different amounts. I know, Brett, you're into the 9/11 thing. That's why I mentioned that. Brett, come on, Brett.
Fuck all the fucking way off.
I know you don't. People are not going to agree with me. I understand that. I'm just a guy with a small YouTube channel with a very, very small audience with just, I get on here and I'm trying to get on here for at least once a day just to spout off, just to give you guys some bullshit about what's on my mind. And yeah, I tend to repeat myself that every day I'm talking about the same stuff. And you guys, you're either going to agree with me or not agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, say so in the chat. Get in there in the chat, key it in. You see it rolling up here, and I don't agree with what everyone has to say. I have my own opinion, and you may or may not like my opinion. And I know I use the left wing, right wing thing, and I'm only using it just to point out where it's coming from. That's all, where it's coming from. And you can vote whatever you want. I don't care. Vote for the Green Party or the Blue Party or whatever party you want. But it's up to you to do what you think is right for yourself. I'm talking about what I think is right, and not everyone is right. I think that there are some wrong things that people do. There's right in this world, there's wrong in this world. And I'm just trying to point out what I think is right and what I think is wrong. And you know what? You've got these activists out there that think they're doing right, and in fact, they're doing wrong. And here's a really good example of that right here. Here's people in America catch a paid climate change activist in the process of starting climate change. You can't make this shit up.
Yo! Yeah! What the fuck?
Here's a guy starting a fire.
Just started the fucking fire.
And he's a climate change activist. Starting a fire!
You started that fire.
There's a fire.
Because they don't think it's that. Hey, this guy just set that fire.
It's a...
You started that fire? You just came from over there. We just saw you.
You're right.
Oh.
And yeah. You have the warrant for the murder, right? I don't care what you do.
These are houses, it's friends.
What? You have the warrant for the murder? Like, this is how stupid it is. This is these are, okay. And let me ask you that. Do you think this guy's a right winger or a left winger? Right wing or left wing? Chat.
Yo! Yeah! What the fuck? Yeah. This dude just started the fucking fire. You started that fire.
There's a fire.
Because they don't think it's that. Hey, this guy just set that fire.
It's a...
You started that fire? You just came from over there. We just saw you.
You're right.
Oh.
And yeah. You have the warrant for the murder, right? I don't care what you do.
What an idiot.
Houses, it's friends. What the fuck? You need to be hospitalized. You are going to be fined and hospitalized.
Yeah. He should be hospitalized.
Yo!
No doubt. Unbelievable. Okay. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. You have, what is it? What is it with you people? With you people, you left wingers. And I know that there's a bunch of you in my audience here. What's wrong with you? Is it a mental condition or something that puts you into that mindset that you're going to do stuff like that? You're like an activist. You're like a climate change activist. And yet you're the one out there starting the fire, And what are you going to do? You're going to blame it on climate change. Oh, it's because of oil, because of some company, producing oil or something. It's like, yeah, the planet is burning. And what? Hey, it makes you think, what's happening in Ontario? How did all of those fires happen? You notice that they're all, if you look at that map, and I showed you the map here the other day. Let's see if I can find it, of all of those fires. And isn't it kind of suspicious that those fires kind of started in a row like that? It's like in Ontario where you have all those fires burning. You guys saw all of the stuff with the fires and that happening. And I don't know. I looked at that video, and I'm thinking of it here because we watched it yesterday. And it seemed to me that the fires are kind of all in a row for some reason. Like, just take a look at this. Look at that. Isn't that kind of suspicious? Like, how the hell do fires all start in a row like that? Do you see that? From the bottom left all the way up there. It's like one fire, another fire, another fire, another fire, another fire. How is it that all of a sudden you have a bunch of fires starting like that? Is there some sort of a climate change activist that's out there starting fires and just driving around and starting this fire, starting that fire, starting another fire, just to to be a proponent of this whole climate change thing. It seems awfully strange. That's all I'm saying. And what else is strange is that pretty much these fires are in Canada. So it's almost like, what is this? Is this some Canadian nut job that is starting these fires? Is that what's going on here? Or do you think that it's just, wow, it's just a bunch of campers, whatever, where there was a bunch of campers out there and their fires got out of control? Or was it a thunderstorm went through, and a thunderstorm, usually, you see which way the wind is blowing? Usually when there's a thunderstorm, the thunderstorms are also going in that direction too, from the left to the right. That's the way the winds blow in Canada, from the northwest to the southeast. But it seems kind of weird that those fires are all along the line there. So I don't know. I don't know what you think about that. And by the way, the Americans are getting pissed off about our Canadian fires. There's someone in the States there that's going, we need to do something about this. We're going to bring a bill out here to do something about these Canadian fires. I don't know. What can you do about these Canadian fires? And what about Mark Carney in Canada? Maybe instead of buying weapons and bombers that drop real bombs, maybe the federal government should invest in some water bombers, that the water bombers could be used in various provinces. Whatever province where there's lots of fires, send those water bombers over there. Maybe they should have autonomous drones. Maybe there should be helicopters that are drones. You don't even need people to fly them, but have drones that could operate 24 hours a day that could be dropping water on these fires. Maybe the federal government should be investing, instead of putting billions of dollars into plants that are going to suck CO2 out of the air and pump them into the ground, which seems pretty stupid. Why not invest in water bombers that can actually put out the fires? If you think that climate change is killing the planet and you have visible evidence of it by way of the fires that are happening, why not put out the fires, right? Maybe that would be the smarter thing to, if you're going to tax oil and gas and you think that it's causing climate change, well, why wouldn't you use that money to invest in some autonomous drones that can, scoop up water and put the water onto these fires and stuff like that? Like, come on, what's the matter with the government? I think that people in the government should be looking a little bit further past their nose into things like this, because now you've got the Americans that are, pushing the agenda and saying that, we need to do something. Yeah, these guys are on the same side of the fence, Carney government won't say if Canada will attend the Trump anti-Antifa summit. Why won't Canada send somebody to the anti-fascist summit? Is Mark Carney on the same side of the fence as Antifa? Well, yeah, they're on the left side of the fence. They're on the left side. But a lot of people say that Mark Carney is actually more right-wing than the Liberals actually think, because he's investing in business-type things. And oh my God, the lefties just hate it when a lefty prime minister does things that are like, enriching corporations like Brookfield. Oh my God. Yeah, but anyways, that's Mark Carney, our illustrious Prime Minister of Canada. You can't make this stuff up. You absolutely can't. It's craziness. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this guy either. You've got today. I don't know what the verdict is for Pat King. Maybe in the chat you can tell us what's happening with Pat King, because Pat was doing a podcast there today, and there was some kind of a verdict coming up on him. I didn't catch what the verdict was, so maybe we'll find out in the chat as to what happened to Pat, whether or not he's in more trouble. We'll see whether he has to go to jail again or whatever. We will see. We will actually see what happens on that whole regard. Yeah. Oh, we've also got this coming up here. This woman here. Remember this woman here that slapped somebody? She's like the left wing Canadian. And again, how can you tell who a left wing is? Well, pretty much if it's a woman, the liberal woman has some kind of pink or purple hair or something like that. So, and look at her jacket that she's wearing there. It's like something that some Antifa stiff would be wearing there. But you're actually seeing the New York Post come out with this thing about a Canadian woman. The hate white North. Canadian in ICE custody after slapping a teen over Trump clothing. Oh my gosh. And even us up here in Canada are saying, good job, ICE. I'm glad to see that she's in detention for the kind of crap that she's doing. She's a liberal through and through. She's on that side of the fence. And yeah, we're not happy with what she did either. Shame on her for doing that. And I think there's actually a video out there with her actually doing that slap on somebody there in the States. And we're sad that she did that. I don't like that she did that. I wish that people wouldn't do stuff like that. But, you know, it's just part and parcel of their mentality. Yeah, and you've got these people that want Alberta to stay in Canada. And yeah, this is pretty much who they are. They call themselves Forever Canada, but they're more likely Forever Communism. We're sick and tired of it. We're moving, the left side of the fence is moving Canada more and more and more towards communism. And that's why Alberta wants out of Canada, because we don't want forever communism at all. Really, honestly. We need change, and change is coming. Change is coming. Change is coming. We're on our way. Yeah. Oh, and here's the Daily Post here. This is Nenshi. This is the last one here on the NDP party. You've got the NDP in Alberta here. Government parasite accidentally OD'd on anti-parasites, so he's taking horse paste for his condition. And Alberta NDP 62-23 choked on their own bullshit. And Nenshi is actually getting out of politics because he's not running. He's my MLA in Old Strathcona in Edmonton. So I live in a far left NDP area of Edmonton. That's where I live. I'm surrounded by the LGBT, there's this girl that stands up on the street in White Avenue, and she's like the queer of White Avenue, and she's wearing all striped outfit, whatever, and she sees me walking by, and it's like, Tommy Temper, you racist, she even knows who I am. I don't know where the hell she comes from or how she knows who I am, but she will, say my name and call me a racist and stuff like that out there. People don't even know who the hell they are, but they call me names. I'm sick and tired of it already. So why do you think I'm up here spouting, about crap like this? It's because people are out there calling me names right out there in the street. I can't even walk down the street without people calling me names. Sick and tired of that bullshit already, So yeah, I can get on here and I can talk about it. At least give me the ability of talking about it, whether you like what I say or not. It's what I think, and the world is getting worse and worse and worse as time goes on. I've lived a long life, and I have seen when, the worst part in town was like one street, and yeah, there were some alcoholic drunks lying on the street, and then came pot, and then came cocaine, and then came fentanyl, and all the rest of these drugs here. And then came the government that said, you guys can use it. Back in the day, hey, you could be arrested. You could be arrested and thrown in jail for having a joint on you or smoking a joint in public or whatever, for drugs. The police were actually, they would actually arrest people for possession of drugs. Nowadays, they don't even arrest the people that are selling the drugs. Never mind the people that are using the drugs. Like, times have changed here to the point where, a society has gotten terrible, gotten bad. We don't like the way things are going, and things have to change. This is all we need. We need some water bombers up here in Canada. We need more water bombers to put those fires out. And it can be done, but the government is spending money on the wrong things. Instead of water bombers to put out those fires so that you our American friends don't have to be breathing that toxic gas, the toxic air coming from Canada with all these fires. And who the hell is setting all these fires? How are the fires happening in Canada? I don't know. But it's a big row, one big long row of fires, as if some guy was driving down some road somewhere and just setting fires as he was going along. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, things need to change, right, Brett?
Fuck all the fucking way off. Fuck all the way off. Fuck, I hate stupid fucking people.
I know, me too.
Oh, fuck me, stupid fucking people. Fuck off. I don't need you here. I don't want you here. It's irrelevant. Now, fuck off. Now people are starting to figure it the fuck out. Or fuck all the way off. Parroting dumb shit. I've been preaching this shit for 20 fucking years.
I know.
That tells me all I need to know.
Me too.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
And with that, thanks a lot, Brett, for admitting to use those sound clips there. Appreciate it. See you guys later. Take care. Stay out of trouble. And if you can't stay out of trouble, hey, get yourself a golf cart and move to Sylvan Lake and drive around and have fun. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Woo-hoo. Fuck all the fucking way off. Now, fuck off.
Oh, man. Can't make this shit up.
Skies. He's calling out the haters with truth in his lines. Talking about the world from the left to the right.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you some relevance there. Giving you a thumbs up. Drop your link. Brett, drop your link there. Anybody with a YouTube channel, drop your link. Type in !link. And people can get to know you a little bit better. Thanks a lot, everyone. I appreciate your company. We got about 75 people watching on all platforms here. Appreciate it. Let's go.
Tommy Temper's the streamer we all want to see. Oh, Tommy Temper, you're a great guy. Battling trolls with a spark in your eye. Conspiracy theories.
It's funny.
Politics and fun. Streaming from the Rockies, you're second to none. So raise a glass to Tommy, the legend of the land from Alberta's lake house.
Let's go. And with that, another successful broadcast. See you later. We're gone.